Hello everyone, Josh here with Enhancement, bringing you guys some more Epic 7. I hope you guys all been enjoying the content and enjoying the game as much as I have. So, today I'm going to be teaching you all how to promote your characters, level them up, use certain items for enhancement, as well as awakening characters, adding equipment, adding artifacts, a little bit of hints and tips in between, and all that other good stuff. Now, if I go too fast for you, because I'm going to try and make this as quick and sweet as possible, be sure to just pause the video if you need to follow along. Also, if you've been enjoying the content and you also want to see some of my other content here on the channel, be sure to subscribe if you're new, become an Impact player today. We're almost at 10,000, which is pretty awesome. And be sure to join us in our Discord below. We have several channels for other various games as well, in case you don't play Duel Links that I cover on the channel, or even Epic 7. We do have other games there as well. So definitely be sure to stop in, chill, and have a great time. So with all that said, let's get into it. So as you can see, I've been playing a little bit here. I haven't been able to play as long as I wanted to, but I've definitely been putting in some time here, and I've been starting getting things down, and I want to share my knowledge with you and hope that I can help you guys out in any way I can. So first, go down here to the bottom, click your hero, go to the hero. This is where we're going to be spending most of our time in today's video. As you can see, we already have some equipment attached to our character, which says, you can even see here that we have some rainbow stars, which indicates that we have indeed awakened him. We've awakened him twice. In fact, we have up here in the top right, next to where it says the filter, you'll see that we have a 4-star artifact equipped to our character. So from here, a lot of you may see something similar to this. Let me go down here to a character that has nothing on it. So this is what most of you may see when you first play the game, or you first get a character and you're starting to build your team. You'll see that you have no equipment attached, you have no artifacts, you're not awakened, nothing. You may not even have your level up at all, which you can see on the left side, we're level 15 out of 30. Now, level 2s can go to level 20, level 3s can go to level 30. 4 stars can go to level 40, 5 stars can go to 50, and 6 stars can go to 60. So keep that in mind when you look at the stars. It kind of indicates how high that character's level can go. And you can take 3 stars and make them a 4-star, 4-star them into a 5, and 5 into a 6 by feeding in other characters that are of the same star quality. They can even be just materials, such as down here we have Mega Phantasma, which you can see on the top underneath his name. He's an ice type and he's a material. So if they say material, that means they're not a character, they're just used for resources. I believe Frost Slime are considered a warrior, so don't get that confused with other slimes, because some games have slimes and are usually just used for EXP or something like that. But in this game, you can actually use the slimes, which I wouldn't recommend it. They're pretty bad, but you get the idea. They're good for fodder when making higher tier characters. So the best way to set up for promotions is to, of course, get a bunch of low tier fodder, like a lot of level 2s and 3s that you can get. Level 2s you can pull from the friend banner using friend items. The 4-leaf clovers that you get for using a friend in battle. Very, very cool, because then you can use those for fodders to make 3 stars, and then those 3 stars can become 4 stars, and now you have 4 stars that you can now feed in to eventually make your free-to-play 4-star a 5-star, or even a pullable 4-star into a 5-star, etc., etc. And by the way, there is one really, really good 3-star in the game right now that I have already made a 4-star, and her name is Kiris. So she is right here. She's exceptional. She's very, very strong and very OP against bosses. And, getting through very tough bosses, especially early game, helps you progress through the story. And Kiris is definitely one of the best in the game for being able to do that, because she has stackable poison damage, which you get by awakening her for the 3rd time. You'll actually awaken that. And now that I have her at level 40 max level, by the way, you cannot promote until your character is max level at whatever star level she currently is, or he is. So as you can see, I can actually promote, which you can see the orange little dot, which gives you an indication that you can do something. I can actually promote Kiris to a 5-star if I had 4 4-stars to feed into her, which unfortunately I don't, and I wouldn't recommend ever using a 4-star character, a natural 4-star, or even really a natural 3-star, unless it's a bad natural 3-star. Which I will be talking about the tier list probably in another video, so we'll go into that another day. But never, ever, please feed a natural 4-star character into another 4-star character unless you already have a dupe of that character. If you have a dupe of it, then fine, but otherwise don't do it, because you want to have as many unique characters as possible for all kinds of different situations. So just keep that in mind. I will show you a quick demonstration of how the process would go in promoting. So to do so, we're going to go down here to one of our max level Mega Phantasms. We're going to click him. And since he is already max level of 20, we can go to promote, and then we can go ahead and feed these in. It doesn't matter what type they are. It doesn't matter what attribute element they are, as long as they are the proper star level. And as you can see here, if I paid 10,000 gold, I'd be able to make this Mega Phantasma into a 3-star. And it even shows you what its combat power will be upgraded to for its attack, defense, health. It'll show you all those statistics, and its main level can go from 20 to 30, like I said previously in the video. So that is how you would go about promotions in this game. But of course, we don't want to promote this character because it's just a material, so it'd just be, you know, worthless at this point. Nothing that we really need to focus on. I'd wait till I get a lot more fodder 2-stars before I started making 3 and 4 stars to, you know, keep the trend going. But yes, Kiris, we're going to go back to her again. But yes, Kiris was a natural 3-star that I turned into a 4-star by using that method. And I've been feeding her equipment. So I guess we can go ahead and start talking about equipment now. Now, equipment, you can get equipment from various areas. Right now, my favorite place to get equipment is from the Labyrinth, which we'll show you where that's at real quick. So from the lobby, you go down here to battle. Now, some of these options may not be unlocked yet for you, depending on where you are in story and what your character rank is for your account. So keep that in mind. Some of these things may not be unlocked for you yet, but don't worry, it will be soon. So right here, we have the Labyrinth. The Labyrinth is right here. And if you go to, like, for example, the first stage of the Labyrinth, Zone 1, Hall of Silence, you'll see here that some of the rewards are right here as follows. Rare grade T2 Fighter's Armor. We also have rare grade Fighter's Boots. We also have Fighter's Helm, Amulet, etc., etc. And of course, they're going to get better tiered the higher you go. See down here, these are T3s, which is a higher tier of the rare grade armor. So, you know, there you go. And these armors are also identified by an attack set, a health set, and a defense set. Now, you want to keep that in mind. You can see the little icons down there. You have a sword, you have a heart, and you have a shield. And we're going to showcase where those are in a moment when you're going to equip weapons, and how important it is and how crucial it is to pay very close attention to how you're building up your characters and what equipment to invest into on said characters to make you have the best combat power possible and to basically unleash the most potential from your character. So let's go back to our heroes. Alright, so we're here, it says. Now, we can look at our character a few ways when identifying what equipment to put on said character. Now, if you look at the equipment I have now, right here, I'm running an epic weapon, Uberid's Spear, and you can see here that it's an attack set by the icon. You see the icon here. Now, this is a hit set. There are more than just 3 different sets, by the way, guys. We were just showing you 3 earlier, but there are more. So this is a hit set. This one, of course, is a defense set. And this one is a health set. If you have 2 armor pieces of the required set, you can get bonus statistics, added, bonus effects added to that armor. And if you notice here, it says under the defense set, 1 out of 2, defense increases by 15%. So that makes it very, very powerful. And if you'll notice, I don't have any other defensive set weapon or equipment right now. So unfortunately, I don't have the set 2 out of 2. I've only got it still 1 out of 2. But if you notice right here in our middle, we have a heroic helmet wing helm, which is a hit set. And then we have a red dragon gem, which is a ring, which is also part of the hit set. So because of that, we're taking advantage of the effectiveness increase by 20%, which is nice. So we're getting that buff. If you look up here, the attack set, 1 out of 4, they're basically saying that they want me to run 4 different equipment items that are of the attack set variety, so I can take advantage of that attack increase by 35%, which is huge. And why is it huge? not only is it 35% attack increase, which is just a big boost by any means, by any game, but the fact that the type of character that I'm running this with says is a very attack-heavy character. And you can kind of look at your character stats by just pressing that drop arrow to completely unveil all the hidden information. And you'll see here that our attack stat for Says right now is 748 base stat, and his base critical hit chance is 21%, and his critical hit damage is 164%. So by those numbers, you can honestly tell that he's an attack type unit. So you would definitely want to invest one of two things into this type of character. You'd want to A, increase his attack stats with any kind of, like, maybe, you know, hit type armor, hit set armor rather, or you could increase his critical rates. So he does more, he has a higher chance of doing criticals, which of course gives him that 164% plus critical hit damage. So for an attack unit, you definitely would want to focus on one of those two things, especially if you take into account his skills. You'd also want to look at your character's skills and see how they incorporate. For example, if you have a healer, and the healer's skill specifically says it heals your team by however high the caster's attack is, you would want to boost that healer's attack by giving it attack-oriented equipment. So that's just a small little example of kind of how you'd go about building things. Same for if you're running like a real defensive type unit. Maybe it does stuff based on how high its defense is. So then you'd want to give it defense type armor, which you can see down here. This is a defense set type of armor. You could actually have multiple of the same type of heroic helmet, wing helm, but they could have different sets. So keep an eye on what sets look like. Because look, let's go here. Let's go to change. All right, so you'll notice, for example, right here, this is a good example. Look at my Sentinel's helmet with the 72 heart and the 72 heart again right below it. Now the heart indicates that that is going to be HP plus 72. Which if you go ahead and click it, it'll tell you right there, health 72, health 72. And you can see that they're both just normal helmet, Sentinel helmet. It's not a high rarity armor piece at all, but they are the same armor, but they both have two different typings. This one is part of the speed set, which requires you to have 4 pieces to get the advantage of getting the speed increased by 25%. While the second one is a hit set, which only requires 2 pieces of hit to get the effectiveness increased by 20%. I hope this isn't confusing any of you, but yeah, so that's something to look into. Now, making a full set of the armor that you want might be difficult early game because you're just going to be getting a lot of random things, and you're just going to have to kind of build your team with whatever kind of armor pieces you have until you start actually farming certain dungeons and certain areas of the story and start buying certain items from the various shops in the game to actually start building the perfect armor sets that you want for your characters. So early game, this may not make as much sense as it will later on, but when you start getting more involved with PvP and higher stages of the game, you definitely want to start paying attention to the type of armor that you have so you can start putting the proper armor on the right type of character. That way when you start enhancing them, you're not wasting resources and your character is maximizing on its potential. So that is a little quick tutorial. Well, it's not really quick, but it's quicker than it could be on how to kind of equip armor and equipment and stuff like that, and what variables to look forward to. So keep that in mind when you are, of course, putting armor pieces on here. Early game, like I said, it may not matter too much, but definitely later down the road it will. So let's go ahead and talk about artifacts. Artifacts are the other item that you can summon from banners alongside heroes. You can get level 3, level 4, and level 5 artifacts, which you can also enhance and take advantages of. But do note that some artifacts are required to be used with a certain class of character. If you look at the top left, you will notice that Says is an ice type, he's a thief, and of course he's Scorpio. So the fact that he's a thief type, and we are running him with the heroic artifact grade Dust Devil. So Dust Devil is one of those artifacts that are actually a artifact typing exclusive. What that means is since it is a thief exclusive artifact, I can only put this artifact on a thief type character only. While some other artifacts, which we can showcase really quickly, like this one, for example, the Alsatian Spear. I probably butchered that. It does not have a requirement, so it can actually go on any type of character. But you also want to read what the artifact skill can do, and does it benefit your character? Does it benefit your team? So you want to look at those things, kind of similar to how we talked about with equipment. So I'm not going to go into it much more than that. But yeah, you definitely want to look into that. And of course, you're going to want to farm up the various materials that you can to help level up your equipment, to help level up your artifacts, and to, of course, level up your characters. Now, characters can be enhanced, which you can see by clicking Enhance down here. And it'll tell you how much EXP you need to go to the next level. It'll tell you what level you are on the side here. And it'll tell you your max level that you can achieve currently at its star rating in the bottom left. And you can just go through here and click these, you know, and it'll tell you how much EXP you're going to gain from that. You know, so you're going to do that. Of course, you only want to use it with EXP material characters, which unfortunately I think I only have these two. That's it. Yeah, and as you can see, that's not very much EXP. And you get a bonus EXP boost if you're using items of the same typing. So as you can see, Mega Phantasm is a water type, and my character is a water type, which, well, they call it ice, but you get the idea. I'm getting an additional, I believe, 50% boost because of that. Let me show you. If you look quickly above the EXP bar, watch. It says 50%. Did you guys see that? 50%? That is the additional boost you're getting for it being the same typing. But if I just click an Earth type Mud Flux over here, as you can see, there was no 50% boost because it's not the right typing. But if I go back up here and add another water character like Arnia Cannon, you see again the 50% boost. So definitely want to make use of your items properly and match them up like you need to. So definitely something you need to do to you know, help build up your account properly and not waste resources when you don't want to, because that's the worst thing that you can do in this game is to waste resources, right? So we've talked about all that. Now let's talk about Awakening, what these rainbow stars actually mean. As you can see, I have awakened my Sez twice. So let's go ahead and talk about the Awakening. So click down here on Awaken, and you'll see here we got like this node-based system. And you can awaken as many times as you have current star level. So right now our Sez is a 5-star, so we can only awaken 5 times until we promote him to a 6-star. Then we can awaken him for his 6th star. It'll even tell you the percentages that you've awakened him down here. You know, Scorpio, 33%. You know, you can even combine your runes, which we'll get to in a moment. And when you click one of these orbs, it'll tell you what items you need here in the bottom right and what kind of bonus or some kind of changes that it's actually making to your character. So my stat increases for health 3%. I get an additional 20 attack and 60 HP for using this second node, which I've already unlocked. And I had to use 15 of these frost runes, and I had to use 2 of the greater frost runes. Now if we go to the next node that I cannot get to yet, you'll notice that I need 20 frost runes and I need 10 greater frost runes. Now there's a good chance that maybe you have a lot of frost runes, for example, and you have a lot and you don't have enough greater frost runes, or maybe you don't have enough of the epic, you know, all the way up to, you know, finally the black curse powder, for example. How are you going to get to those? You know, well, you can farm select areas of the game, which will have those as droppable rewards. You can even go to the actual Awakening Metal dungeon and do that every day, as long as you have the stamina for it. So you can farm those out. And it does get harder, and I'll show you where to go for that in the video, so don't worry. Or you can click here down to Rune Combined, and you can actually combine into other runes. So, for example, it's going to take 10 frost runes to make 1 greater frost rune. And since I have 11, I can make 1 more greater frost rune, and then I'll have 3 greater frost runes and only have 1 frost rune left. So there's no point doing that right now because it's not going to get me anywhere. But that's how you kind of create higher tier if you need to, if you have a lot of the lower tiers. So you can actually make big tiers. Kind of similar to the system of how, you know, you promote characters by making lower star levels into bigger star levels. So I hope you guys are following along. I know it's a lot to take in. Like I said, pause the video if you need to, if I'm going too fast. So that is how you do Awakening. And sometimes Awakening gives you really amazing boost. Like for example, my first skill, Dark Shadow, that I have on Says actually gets upgraded when I awaken him for the 3rd time. Dark Shadow right now penetrates the enemy with dark energy with a 50% chance to make them unhealable for 1 turn. Damage dealt increases proportional to the amount of the enemy's lost health. So when I awaken him for the 3rd time, it'll now be penetrates the enemy with dark energy, making the enemy unhealable for 1 turn. Damage dealt increases the proportional to the amount of the enemy's lost health. So it changes slightly. And this is kind of what I did for my Kiris, because I awakened her for the 3rd time so I can get her stackable poisoning, and it helps with bosses so well. So that's just one big benefit to Awakening. It can really be a game changer. So we've now talked about equipment, we've now talked about promotion, we've now talked about how to enhance, we've now talked about how to equip artifacts, we've talked about the changes that you want to look forward to and how to analyze your equipment and your artifacts when putting them on a character to bring out the most potential. We've talked about max level caps for whatever your star levels are. So we've pretty much covered most of the stuff I really wanted to talk about. There may be 1 or 2 things I may have missed, and if I did, I apologize. You guys can let me know in the comment section if you have any further questions. You can also ask me in our Discord in the description below by using the Epic 7 channel within our Discord. You know, we've talked about the typings, how this character is an ice type, and you'd want to use EXP items that are also ice type. You know, with Cartuja, he's an earth, so you'd want to use earth, you know, etc., etc. You want to mix and match, make things work the way you want to, and really bring out the best you can with your characters. Now, I did promise you I was going to show you where you can get some Awakening medals daily. So let's go ahead and go to battle down here. And again, this may be something that you don't have unlocked quite yet, but the Spirit Altar is where you'd want to go. Now, the element changes, I believe, per day. I don't know if they have any kind of like all types are active on the weekends like some games do, so they might. But today, only the Forest Spirit Altar is available, so that means you can only get the Earth Awakening medals. Tomorrow, Light will be open, and after that, I believe Dark Spirit, then Flame, and then you have Frost. So that's Water, Fire, Dark, Light, and Earth. So that is where you'd go. You go in here and you can go to the highest stage possible that you're able to beat comfortably, and you can see on the right side the types of rewards you can get. So definitely do the ones that you can beat and do the ones that you actually need specific items for. So there you go. I hope that explained a lot, and of course you can do that as many times as you want per day as long as you have the stamina for it. So I hope I helped a lot of you in a lot of questions you may have when it comes to leveling your character and how to make your character as good as it possibly can be. You can also take that knowledge, expand on it more, and start building your teams to kind of match up well. And again, building your team may also be the same situation with equipment where you kind of just have a cluster of random things early game, so you may not be able to make the perfect team that you really want or put the perfect armor on that you really want until you start playing more into the game. And when you start getting more higher tier stuff and you got more materials and you've got, you know, way more options, then you can start putting together the perfect team that you wouldn't have on your account. So again, I hope this helped everyone out. I tried to make it as quick as possible and as clear as possible. If you have any trouble understanding anything I said or you have any questions, again, use the comment section below or hit me up in the Discord or any other member. They may be able to help you as well. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this little guide video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys all later. Peace.